welcome to Distaggio here. Today we're going to be doing a little Grobbulus, and we're on normal mode. Grobbulus has an area of effect ability that deals 1 damage to all minions. If any of them die, he summons a slime on his side of the table. He also has echoing ooze and Nerubian eggs, sludge belcher, stuff like that. And so he makes it kind of annoying. Essentially, the way to deal with him is build a deck that uses very few minions. Kind of like a freeze mage is ideal. You could maybe even use warrior, priest, something like that. And then pop in the Alpha Flame Strikes there to take out all his oozes. They're not very tough. It's just that when they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, I am running some minions, though. Acolyte of Pain to get me some draw, sometimes some big game hunter, which I wasn't quite sure what was entirely in his deck, so I just figured maybe, just maybe, there's going to be some beefy guys in there. And I did it else from Beginner Earth and Ring for the heal, and Azure Drakes for the draw. But really, I'm kind of a goal here of simply taken him out with some minimal minion damage and then a little bit of direct damage. So that's why Mage is an excellent choice to take on a hero such as Grobbulus. So we'll go ahead and select up the old Tightwad deck and we'll be good to go. Alright, so I tossed back the whole hand there. I just wanted some lower casting cost stuff, and ideally like a minion or two that give me a little bit of card advantage, such as Acolyte of Pain or Azure Drake. But typically what you're doing here is you don't want to play a lot of heroes because you don't want Grobbulus to use his ability, which damages all your minions, because if one of your minions die, of course he then has more members on his side of the board for free. So he pops with a Nerubian egg. That's something very common and typical that he'll do. And you can see here, I'm building a good defense. I got some Frost Nova, I got some Flame Strike here, so if he does get a big team going here, then that's okay, because I can take out them all in one big old Flame Strike, and Frost Nova also helps slow him down while I'm ideally coming in for some damage here. Get me some card draws, he damages me there. I drop the second Acolyte of Pain. Now I got 2 card draw engines. Now he's going to deal 1 to everything. Here's his ability, Poison Cloud. And you can see the 2/2 ooze that came up there. As my minion died, he gets a 2/2 ooze, and he's going to basically continually use his ability literally every turn. And he's going to swing in on me direct to the face there. He didn't want to damage my Acolyte of Pain because he didn't want to give me card draw, apparently. So, right there you can see I also use Novice Engineer, and that's just again, I just like having that card draw. Now it does give him some 2/2s when they die, but again, some of the problems I was having as I was testing this out is I could never really draw through my deck very effectively to get the cards I needed to eventually have that finisher for him, or the direct damage that I needed, or the freeze cards that I needed to sort of take him out. And so I did feel that I could have some minions in the deck. I didn't have to go minion-less, and also that's because I didn't have Alessandro, because that's one legendary that people are using to, you know, instantly take his health down to 15, and I just didn't have that card. So it's basically a free-to-play deck, and hey, let's leave it at that. So you gotta do what you gotta do. He's constantly summoning oozes and destroying my heroes, and here is where we are eventually, very rapidly, going to be needing to Flame Strike to clear this board out. And before we do that, we're also going to have to take out the egg that cracked, giving him his 4/4 egg dude. So that's going to have to be taken out as well. But what I choose to do here is a little bit different. Is let's just freeze everything and give me a little bit of time here. You know, give me a little time, and yeah. Alright, he's filled up his whole side of the board now. So even if he wanted to, he couldn't summon any more oozes and whatnot. So clearly here's an ideal time to Flame Strike. I could maybe go one more turn where I did not Flame Strike. But when there's that many out there, it gets real close. Boom, there it is. So there's the Flame Strike that clears his board. He's at 28 life. I'm at 24. And then he does an Echoing Ooze, which he buffs up to 5/6, which of course makes 2 5/6s at the end of his turn. That's a great card, by the way, Echoing Ooze. I really love that card. And I've been trying to build it into some decks and kind of worked it into one deck, but it's just not a... I think the card just exists fine as is without needing to have all these buff cards in your deck. You know, I just think that 2/1/2s for couple casting cost is a good deal. But anyways, I'm going to pop out a minion here, Azure Drake, and get the card draw Earthen Ring. So I do have some heal here. That's good. Definitely got some heal going on. And can survive a few turns, even though he's got a plethora of large, beefy creatures such as Sludge Belcher and Echoing Oozes. So on our turn, our goal here is to whip out the old Blizzard, freeze all his dudes, take a couple of them out there too. We got that spell power boost of the Azure Drake, of course, so that's always beneficial. And then we'll almost went with Earth in there, and then I wanted to rethink things here. It's like, hey, wait a minute, let's just think about this here. Ice Block is something that might make sense at this point, given my health is what? It's 12. So that's the plan. Stand. And look at that. I was so hesitant there. What? Hesitant. So hesitant there. Decided not to do anything. Didn't want to attack. Didn't want to lose my guy. And then, of course, he comes in and slams me. So, hey, what can you do? These things happen. It looks like I'm going to lose this match, doesn't it? Good news is I got a lot of freeze in my hand. So that's really the important part of what you're seeing at this point here. Is that I can freeze quite a few things. And I don't really have a lot of risk of dying at this point, so I feel pretty good about my current situation. He's on freeze mode there, and I can use my Fire Blast and then sneak on in for 4 damage. Taking him from 28 to 24, he's going to use his ability, but that won't quite take up my Azure Drake. Although this will, Heroic Strike, and then boom, it comes to my face because he's trying to kill me. And so I take advantage of that here shortly. And now I can use my Earthens to heal up my Azure Drake, actually, not myself, because again, I got a little bit of freeze going on in my hand, so I'm actually okay here. And we got the ice barrier and whatnot, so we're okay. We're kind of covered, if you will. So let's take this sucker down with some direct damage to the face. That takes him to 13 health. And we got the Flame Strike in the hand and Nevis Engineer, other various ones. And so we're looking good at this point. We're looking very good at this point. And Frostbolt. Frostbolt. Very nice. That could be very close to lethal. As you can see, as I'm swinging in for 7, I'm taking him to 6, healing myself, ending the turn. And he had absolutely nothing to do on his turn. So simply swinging in for the win. Not a very glamorous finish, but that'll get her done here. So that's why I think Frostmage is an excellent choice. It's one that can just keep persisting, keep going on and on and on. I think this only took me 2 tries to beat him on the normal mode, of course. And we'll do Heroic at some point in the future. But that got her done. As always, keep it dirty and dirty up.